So making his way to the cage from the Olympian gym in Bristol via France will be Marc Belli. A bit of an international here then, Gary.
That's right, he's travelled over to train with the best in the Olympians. Couldn't pick a better coach of Paul Reed.
And again, France just beginning to emerge in MMA circles. We've had all the problems over the years with it being recognised in that country. So I've always got respect for Frenchmen that are really making their way, because it's a difficult journey for anyone in mixed martial arts if you're from France.
That's right, and he's racked up a record of 2-2 on his scores, his sheet at the moment. So he's coming in with a decent record.
That's right, and as I said, French fighters just beginning to make a name for themselves now, and I said it's in some parts of Europe, unlike others, it's been a difficult journey because of the laws and regulations, and France has been one of those countries. Having said that, an incredible kickboxing tradition from that country.
I believe it's Sabat is their traditional kickboxing, so it'd be nice to see if you can bring some of that to the table today.
That's right. French fighters can be very flamboyant, very strong as well. As you said, a 2-2 record in MMA. And I said, coming into the cage, I mean, he looks lean and mean, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's looking the part. He's coming out to his rock music. I believe it's his friend's own band that's made the music for him. So he's looking ready.
Yep. So Marc Belli is in the cage, representing Olympians Bristol, but from France, giving an international flavour to tonight's show. Well, you can hear the crowd's response for Dean Hart from SVT in Swindon. And Gary, we were talking about him before the bout, and you said he's a real character. There's two things we've got to talk about here. One, he's a real character, but two, he needs to get in winning ways here tonight.
That's right. Dean currently, he's on a 2-fight losing streak at the moment. He's in desperate need of a win tonight, and I always see the best Dean Hart turn up when he's relaxed, when he's clowning around and when he's joking. Now, we've seen a little bit of that in the build-up to this fight, so I'm not sure what type of Dean we're going to see tonight.
Well, that's the thing, as you said, I find in MMA there's so many different ways to win that records only really matter, I feel, over a period of time, the longer you're on, because it's no shame. Some of the greats have had their first two fights as losses because it's not like boxing, it's not like kickboxing. There's so many ways that you can lose, and so quickly.
I agree. I think records are for DJs. I think when you see these sort of guys, I think records are irrelevant, because, like you say, in boxing, you could go 49-0, and if you have that one loss, people are going to say he's no good. Whereas that's what I love about MMA. You can have a 50-50 record and still be regarded as one of the all-time greats. So let's not forget they're amateur fighters as well. So it's all about learning.
That's a good call, and as we said, it is, I feel, the toughest combat sport in the world because of so many ways to finish an opponent and so many ways to lose, because it's not like, as we said, the other traditional arts. That's what makes it so exciting as well. It can be over in a second, or you can have a grueling bout, but one thing's for certain, I think if he does win, so many people will be so happy for him.
They absolutely, and he's turned up in great physical shape. He's brought a good crowd with him. And one thing about Dean, he is a tough guy. He's very durable, he's very strong, and he's training at the SVT gym under Big Oz and the Scorpion coaches as well.
So as Nathan Webb, our referee, brings them together, Dean Hart looking to get back on winning ways. 2 losses recently, looking to get that win column going once more. And what better place to do it with the crowd behind you, Gary?
Yeah, the home crowd's got to help. Dean, we call him the Ninja Hobbit in the Swindon area. That little guy, he packs some power, and I'm sure he's going to start early, which he has.
Yes, a very solid low leg kick to the lead leg of Mraz and tests him again and looking to get in close. And I think that power you mentioned, Mraz immediately went for the single leg. I think he felt that kick, felt that punch and thought, let's take him to ground.
That's one thing you can say about Dean. I mean, for a guy of his size, he has got some chunky legs. He's got a hell of a physique on him. This guy is a powerhouse.
Well, I think Mraz felt that, did the right thing, went for the single leg, got it, has slowly worked Dean up to the cage and is looking to use that left hand to soften him up. It's not a good position for Dean at the moment and not somewhere I think he'd want to be so early in the bout, Gary.
I mean, Dean's been in these positions before. I'm sure he's not panicking too much. He would have prepared for the worst. Be interesting to see how he worms his way out of this one.
That's right. I said it's not a great position, but it's certainly not the worst position for him at the moment. And you will see Marc Mraz try to adjust that, either turn him fully one way or the other. The left hand is there as a softener, but you can see Dean using his legs well to keep Marc in that position. And he's not really taking that much punishment. That left hand is more of a softener and more something that Marc Mraz wants to get Dean's attention with so that he can do other things rather than, it's not a ground and pound technique, that's for sure.
Whereas he's slowly worming his way in over Dean. He's not gaining too much over him at the moment. Again, I don't think Dean's panicking too much. Let's see what happens. And I mean, Dean's firing back with his own shot, so he's obviously comfortable in this position. He'd be used to that in the gym.
That's right. He's got the one leg trapped of Marc Mraz to stop that movement, and again he's hand fighting with him as well now, so he knows exactly what's going on, and he's not taking too much punishment. As I said, it was a difficult position to be that early in the round, and he won't like to eat these, but I certainly don't see it being a real problem for him at the moment where it stands. Having said that, Mraz is continually throwing that left, and you can see Dean starting to try and block it now. It's not something he'll want, but I can't see it being stopped from this position.
And Mraz has just taken a step back, just give himself a little bit more leverage in his shots there. So Dean's going to be tasting a little bit of Mraz's power as they rain down on him.
Well, also there, it's the weight factor as well. He's bearing down on Dean. So although we mention how fit and strong he is, it's not a position across a full round. And the other thing you've got to look at, from the judge's point of view, after the initial couple of shots, Mraz is the man in control on the ground here, so he's working his way to a very convincing first round points.
Yeah, I mean, Mraz is looking the busiest of the two. I mean, he's not getting an awful lot of leadway in this way. Oh, here we go, 10 seconds. So for me, Mraz has taken this opening round.
I agree, he's taken it. Dean hasn't been in trouble, but Mraz has forced the issue. And as we reach the end of the round, I think Dean will be a bit frustrated. He had a good start. And although Mraz couldn't improve his position, for the judges, he was the man trying to take that opening round. He was the man firing off those little left shots. So Dean, on my scorecard and yours, will be a round down.
That's right. I mean, Mraz is still looking fresh at the moment. He's just relaxed. You can see Paul Reed just talking to him at the moment. And over the other side of the cage at the moment, he's got his coach Oz and he's got Alex Brunn in there. I think he needs to tune up a little bit. It's not the Dean Hart that we're used to seeing. As I said before, the best Dean we see is when he comes out relaxed, clowning around. That's when we tend to see the better Dean. So let's hope we can see Dean wake up out of this and start bringing it to the table now.
Well, Mraz's corner, as you rightly said, will be happy with that. I think they'll probably say to him, try and get better position, because although he got the takedown, he got the single leg, he couldn't improve his position. I think you're right. With Dean, I think it's his corner saying, wake up, either prevent the takedown or do a lot more work when you're there. I mean, he did a good job of preventing Marc improving his position, and although he took those left hands, they weren't powerful. But if he takes another round like that, then the whole pressure's on you in the third to either get a stoppage, because you're not going to win. He can't afford a second round the way that first went.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just wondering whether the weight cut for Dean this time, he's fighting slightly lighter than what he normally does. I mean, that can sap your energy as well. You can make weight well and you can still look the part, but when you've got someone who's walking around pretty much on weight and they haven't had that huge extreme weight cut, It's got to take an impact on the body.
Well, as you said that, Mraz has obviously looked for the same again and got far better position here this time. Went for the single leg, got it, and managed to push Dean swiftly to the cage here. So for Dean, it's an even worse start for me for the second, because Marc Mraz got better position straight away, and as you can see, with that base here as well, he'll be able to posture up and start. He likes to throw the ground and pound, as you saw that left hand. He's got a far better position here to be able to do that. But as you can see as well, Dean is working far more actively.
Yeah, I mean, Dean's not going to be happy. He's got straight into this position again, so he's going to be fighting as much as he can to get himself out of there. I just hope he hasn't gassed himself out in the first round.
Well, again, he's got a tight defence. He's not taking too much punch. And you just saw there that Marc beginning to look for the left arm of Dean. They're Dean aware of that, but it's not a position he'll want to be so early in the second as well, because one thing we saw from Marc Mraz, he was persistent, he was dominant, he knows how to use his weight effectively, but you can see Dean bringing his legs up high, wrapping them round the body. And again, Marc's got to be careful, because Dean can look for this left arm of his, still thinking, still working there. But for me, again, it's another dominant position for Marc Mraz, and Dean will have to adjust here.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an action-packed fight at the moment, but it's a points-winning fight, and I think Mraz will just be happy to sit on top and chip away at Dean and look for the points win if that's what it has to be.
I agree with you there. He's done everything right. And the other thing you've got to remember for Marc Mraz, while he's in this position, he's not taking any punishment either. He's in control. He's saving energy. He's not having to work too hard. He's working just enough to make Nathan Webb not consider even moving them. But this is the danger for him. He's got to watch those arms, because Dean can still get in there.
Yeah, I mean, you can never write Dean off. Like I said, he's a strong guy. He's got plenty of experience, so you can never write Dean off.
But as you can see from Nathan's position, he's more than happy for Marc Mraz to continue working here. And he gave up position willingly. I don't know whether he wanted to jump back in, but these up kicks are superb here.
Yeah, it looked like Dean landed a lovely kick straight up to Mraz's face there. I mean, that's going to give him a little bit of a shock there.
Well, Mraz obviously gave up position to try and jump back in for the ground and pound, and he's got good position again. I mean, Dean has done a good job defensively, but again, as you hear that clacker for the last 10 seconds, it's been two torrid rounds for the Swindon man.
Yes, it's been a dominant round again, and I think he'd be happy again just to wrestle him, sit on top of him. And when he did give Dean the chance, Dean bucked up with the up kick there, and he's not going to like Dean's power, so I think he's going to be happy just to sit on top of him, grind him down.
Well, you saw Mraz there raise his hands to the sky. That's as much psychological as anything to say the judges, you better have given it to my way. But to be honest with you, across those first two, you can't see it any other way. You had the up kick, but Dean was taken down even earlier this time. And Mraz, he did pass guard, and so he did do well. But Dean is still, if you look at him, he's still not been hurt, he's not been damaged, but he must now win by stoppage one way or another here, because he will be 2 rounds down.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to go for that stoppage. He's going to have to up the work rate and just go for broke on this one. I mean, like you say, he's not taken any damage, but he's not been winning the rounds either. Well,
if I was in Marc Mraz's corner, I would certainly be going, do the same again. Take him down early. The single legs worked both round 1 and 2, which is unfortunate for Dean because it was exactly the same technique. And when he's worked him there, he's got him to the cage straight away, got him back press there. He's worked him the full time. I'm sure for Mraz, it's the same tactic. It's a winning tactic. And as you said, it's not often pretty for the crowd, but it's grinding out a victory for him as we go into this third and final round. And it's key moments for Dean. As we said, losing 2 on the spin, and he's close to losing a third on the spin if it keeps up this way.
Yeah, Dean's got to go in hard and start quick. Now we're seeing some of those little flicky kicks there that we see from the possible Sabat background. But I have to be honest, Mraz's wrestling skills and grappling skills have surprised me. It's not what I thought to see from the Frenchman tonight.
Well, for the first time, though, he went for the single leg, and Dean was aware of it and was much better in stopping him this time. But again, effortless round kick to the head of Dean Hart. Dean walks through it, to be fair. But again, there you go, goes for the double leg. And again, you just want Dean to sprawl that much better. Side control now for Mraz. He didn't get the single leg first time. He didn't really get the double leg. It was a single leg now, north-south position. The last thing Dean wants at this moment in time.
I mean, Dean come out throwing some heavy kicks there, which I'm sure Mraz felt and didn't like. But now, like you say, he's just taken him down. And Dean's got a form of a leg lock there.
He has, and it's causing Mraz problems there, and Dean knows this. He knows he can't afford a third round with Mraz on top position. He's been comfortable on top. He's now got very good side control again. And now into mount beautifully. These are dangerous times for Dean Hart. The last place he wants to be so late in the bout.
He's taken a few shots there while Mraz is in full mount. He's not a great position for him. He's holding on for dear life. And that, not only is that going to, the punch is going to hurt him, but it's going to sap the energy as well.
Well, if Mraz can sit here and stay in this position, he's going to take the points win, even if he doesn't stop him with ground and pound. And again, it's good position. The mount is solid. And as you see, every time he goes to buck, he drops his weight, stays there. Dean's arm wrestling with him, hand fighting, but it's not enough. And these are dangerous times. If you can get those hammer fists going as well, it's dangerous times for Dean.
It's so draining because Dean is the one effectively doing all the bucking, the kicking, the moving. Mraz is just sprawling on him, putting his weight on him, throwing down a few punches and just sprawling back over. It's the game plan that's worked through rounds 1 and 2, so why change it?
Well, you saw him dropping the forearm there as well, and if he's sensible, this will be a straightforward, comfortable victory that he's ground out here, and he's negating and tying up Dean here, and that little left hand again going. And it's a good position for him, and you wonder where, with the clock ticking now, Dean can get out of this, because these punches coming down and the little forearms as well. He's had total control across 3 rounds.
I mean, Dean's just ate a few punches there, but I mean, he's got a great chin. Oh, what have we got here?
Well, he's gone for the armbar. Mraz has gone for the armbar here. And these are dangerous times. Mraz finally going for the submission. Has he got that lock on? Dean looking to get out.
A screech of pain there. I think Nathan Webb's called that off as a verbal submission. And he has. Dean not very happy with the decision. But the referee needs to jump in, and if he thinks that he's in trouble, he's going to call a halt to it, regardless whether he's tapped out. It's to stop him from damaging himself in further competition. I mean, let's not forget it's an amateur bout as well. And
to be fair for Marc Mraz, he timed his attack to perfection there for the submission. But Dean, even if he'd have lasted and held on, that would have been 3 rounds clean to the Frenchman. He did everything right. As we said, it wasn't pretty, but he had total control, total ground control, and really ground out of victory, or was grinding out of victory before that point. It's unfortunate for Dean, but as we said, at amateur level, Nathan's known for fighter safety first. He was going for the arm bar. Dean did do a good job of trying to resist it, but to be fair, the Frenchman was in total control of that fight.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel for Dean. I mean, he's a hell of a competitor and he's a great showman. And hopefully we can get him back on the show and see him again, because I don't think we saw the best of Dean tonight.